What we know.
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 Travelling.
Australia.
Caravanning.
Camping.
What we know.
Okay, welcome guys to What We Know with TTTM. Driven to the max, that's us. This is something new that we're trying, a midweek episode release. So it's What We Know, travelling full time on the road. What we've learnt, tips and tricks, what we like, what we don't like.
Product reviews that we use, just a bit of everything
A bit of anything, so
may help you out from what we've learnt and what you can help us out with that you know.
yeah.
So if you've got anything you want to know or want us to cover, just drop it in the comments below, and we want to make a little community out of this. So we'll learn from you, you learn from us, and we'll be happy days.
So our first episode with What We Know with Tripping to the Max is our 100-day
100 days.
travelling full time on the road. Can you believe
It's
it?
gone way too quick.
It has gone way too quick.
Been absolutely amazing. 100% recommend getting out and doing it if you can. If you can't, live it through us. Jump up and hit that subscribe button, the notification, and if you're liking these, give us a thumbs up. That way you don't miss anything. We can help you, you can help us, and we can all be happy.
So we're here on location at Mayfield Bay
Mayfield Bay.
and
What's that?
100 days of travel, what we know.
Yes.
So to get straight into it, we know that we've travelled 8,200 kilometres.
We also know that the Ram is damn expensive way to travel those 8,200 kilometres.
So we know, if you've watched our previous episodes, that we have a Ram 1500 and we have a Yonder G-Shock off-road 22-foot caravan.
with all the bells and whistles. So we're not light, but we didn't expect it to be that cheap, and we're pretty stoked actually with how it's all going. So
travelled kilometres, 8,200 or roughly around there. We have
an average fuel consumption off our computer at 22.8 litres 100 at the moment, which is pretty good.
and our worst has been
37-ish. That's for an extended time. I've seen it up, put your foot down, it goes up to about 80 or 90, but I don't do that very often. And our best has been about 13-ish along the highway, which we haven't hit many of them in Tassie. So.
And I'm pretty good at writing down the fuel prices, so our worst fuel price has been actually in the middle of Melbourne, $2.04.9, and our best has been $1.74.9
yeah, so
in Tassie.
Quite the range, but yeah, best we've seen over here $1.72.9, but yeah, averaging sort of about the $1.80 in Tasmania.
Accommodation, so as you know, we've said before, we like to free camper. Our jam is free camping or low-cost camping, where we can have a fire, where we can spread out a little bit, where we can be in the bush away from people. So 100 days on the road, we have
stayed at 40 different sites all up.
40 different sites, that's pretty good, I think.
Yeah, which is 22 free camps.
At 64 nights.
Yeah, 15 low-cost national parks, so sort of that $15 and under mark.
Which has been about 22 nights.
Yeah, which has been pretty cool. And 2 caravan parks. One was
Mildura.
yeah, which was for Jackson's birthday, and one was
Just an overnight.
it was like a community camp area type thing. But yeah,
yeah. So 2 caravan parks at 4 nights, and we have stayed at a showground for 10 nights.
yeah, 10 nights at a showground.
Yeah.
Which was Hobart over the Christmas break. Blah blah blah.
So we know that for our travels,
We eat way too much food, and food is our biggest expense apparently.
I thought it was going to be fuel, but it's actually food.
And we are going to do a full budget breakdown in possibly in one of the upcoming episodes. So we're not going to go too much into what the expenses are, but we know that food is expensive, and we need to stop eating so much. We do have 2 boys that never shut the fridge and cupboard doors, so We'll have to tape their mouth shut or buy bigger locks, but anyway.
But that includes a lot. So like what Daniel said, we'll do a budget breakdown. We'll tell you what that includes. So stay tuned for that one. But it includes a lot within that.
But if you don't watch it, food can be ridiculous.
Yeah.
Especially in Tassie, in a lot of not so regional towns where you've only got the IGAs and stuff, the food prices can get up. So that does add to it as well. But so food and fuel.
Yeah, that's So what we've learnt is that
there is a massive mix of camps. Some good, some not so good. Which we knew before we left, but
top favourite for you?
I think in Cockle Creek so far south of Tassie. It was brilliant. Perfect water, perfect weather. Camp itself wasn't that brilliant, but just what we got done there, beautiful. We're saying Cockle Creek.
I'm gonna say Lime Bay, Tassie.
Oh yeah.
So that was around the Port Arthur area, and it was amazing. The water was amazing. The kids had lots of fun snorkeling, and that was a top. We spent about 5 nights there.
It was one of the local national park, $15 a night. Plenty of history around the area. Lime Bay was good. That was a real good one. And West Tassie, Trial Harbour, absolute stunning time we had there.
Yeah.
Basically the edge of the world, well, edge of Australia, edge of Tasmania. It was a cracker. Definitely our fave on the west side of Tassie anyway.
Victoria, we had Shallow Inlet was awesome.
Wilson's Promontory, that was a brilliant place to visit, to do Wilson Prom from.
Got some sand in my eye.
Sitting on the beach, it's a little bit breezy, but so Wilson's Prom, Shallow Inlet, that was awesome. Joanna Beach on the Great Ocean Road was a stunner for our adventures across the Great Ocean Road. Low cost, national park, $15 a night or something along those lines, excuse me. So they were probably...
Beautiful sunsets.
Yeah. Lots of wildlife. So they were probably our 5 fave at the moment. There's been plenty, but they were the 5 that we know. We also know that there are some not so good ones. My least favourite spot so far would be Terang Caravan Park in Victoria. Only for the sole reason it wasn't big enough to accommodate our rig, and I got really stuck. No other reason other than that. It was community run by the Rotary or Lions, one of those clubs, so it was nice, but
And we didn't film that.
Didn't have a real good time there.
My least favourite, I think, was there was just a roadside stop between Gunning and Hay, Beckham. It wasn't bad. It was a good overnighter, but just not.
So it was just a little car park basically. It had some facilities there, but it was, from what the other ones we've done, not our favourite. Nothing wrong with it, but not our favourite. And the other one that the boys picked was Luwina, which is on the western side of Tasmania. It's an old abandoned mining town. We based ourselves there to do Cradle Mountain. It served its purpose, but it was pretty run down.
If you've ever watched Walking Dead, I swear it's just like that.
Yeah, it's like
where 2 or 3 years down the track and nature's taken over everything. So
they're basically packed up, taken off, and nature's taken back over. But anyway, so they're our 3 least favourite for no apparent reason, just so they're not as good as the rest of them.
Other things we've learned is that
things go wrong.
Yeah. Things go wrong. So we've had one incident with the car, and I'll let Daniel talk about that because I have no
basically some of the wiring that runs the hydraulic pump on our van from the car come loose, fell onto the exhaust, it melted, shorted out the fuse, everything stopped dead in the middle of the road, which is awesome because it's the main travel route for big trucks and lots of cars.
So if you watch some of our episodes, we have shown that in our
if you want to see that, go back to our Hay. It's one of our first episodes, so go check that out. But so that was pretty scary, but turns out it was pretty minor, but yes, that was our only real major thing. But other than that, we've had
minor things with the van, and they can be easily fixed or tweaked, but
just our water pump keeps playing up. We're trying to get it sorted. It's just We don't know if it's a pump or something to do with the battery, with the Bluetooth system.
But we've had it looked at, they've dumped a lot of water through it and it
Worked perfect on that day.
Yeah. So, but if you jump in the shower, you have a shower, and because we're water saving, so you turn it on, turn it off, soap up.
Turn it back on and the water pump dropped out.
Yeah, so
if you've had the same issue,
let us know your
let us
solution.
know, drop it down there. We're trying to, I can override it with a switch, but I don't really want to do that. But yeah, anyway, if you've got any ideas,
we
drop
can
them in the comments.
hardwire it in too, but yeah, it's just, I guess it uses more power.
Yeah. And then the other thing, we've got Fresca fans, which are very similar to the Siroccos, but the last couple of days when we've been using them, because it's been really hot, the blades have been falling off.
Yeah.
The little spindle inside isn't grabbing the fan itself, so the actual fan's working perfect, just the blades aren't sticking in.
So if you've had that problem, let us know your solution, because at the moment we are using tape.
Yeah, just a little bit of tape on it to jam them on, and it seems to be working, but we shouldn't have to do it with newish fans. But anyway.
And one major incident that has happened is that the latches on the top cupboards come loose. Daniel tightens them up and moves them around and checks them. But one day we were travelling through and all our cups fell out of the top cupboard and into the bench. So that's just one of our major things.
The cupboard just come open itself, which is not ideal, but anyway, it's only small. We'll notice it, we'll get over it, but yeah, just little things. But yeah, anyway, so things do go wrong. We also know that there are things we wouldn't be without.
Yeah.
For me, it's my Makita tools.
I thought you were going to say me.
No, I could well and truly be without you and tools. No, I love you, dear. So first, so Makita tools, my drill and the vacuum cleaner. We use the vacuum cleaner all the time. It is amazing, and it's all good because they all use the same battery, one charger, less stuff to carry. So I carry drill, rattle gun, vacuum cleaner,
all the stuff that
blower
has the same.
and grinder.
Yeah.
I have used all of it, I will use all of it going forward, but would not be without my tools.
I would not be without the air fryer. We have saved so much money on lunches, dinners, whatever. Cooking in our air fryer, and our induction cooker. So those two things for cooking, we wouldn't be without.
They are good money savers. We use them all the time. We're lucky enough we have the battery power and the inverters and stuff to run it, so why not?
12-volt system in the car. So
wouldn't be without the 12 volt. There will be an episode rundown on the 12 volt, but yeah, a good 12 volt system in our truck would not be without, because it is saving us so much money eating dinner. Costs a lot to set up, but saving it. By the time we finish travelling, we would have paid for it a few times over.
Although I don't know about our food budget.
Yes. I don't know where we'll spend all our money, but anything.
The air fryer was one of the last things we actually put in our van, and we are 100% happy that we did it. So get yourself an air fryer.
We'll never be without that. So the dirty gear bags that we carry on both the van and the car would not be without them. We put firewood in, and we put our wet hoses, our rubbish, our dirty our wet clothes. Stops it all ended up in the van, ended up in the car. We have the TTTM ones. I will do a rundown on those in some point, but yeah, they are. I would not be without dirty gear bags. If I could have 40 of them, I would, but we can only fit 2. So anyway.
Diesel heater for Tasmania.
100%
we have used it a fair bit over here.
We've just got the Chinese cheapie. I installed it myself. Would not be without diesel. The main reason we've used it over here, actually, because the west coast the weather was so crappy, we used it for drying our clothes. Chinese laundry in the van and drying our clothes. But
I don't know if buying the diesel or using a dryer at the laundromat would have been more expensive, but I don't know. Anyway,
convenience, diesel heater, 100%. And the last thing, I think, good drink bottles. We
fill them up every day.
Water. We got these ones from one of those kitchen home shops. They're the H2 Hydro 2s. Never heard of them, just found them, they were on sale.
I think they were in like House or something like that, but they're about $50, but we got them on a 50%
for about
off.
18, $20 or something.
Something like that. So,
but these good water bottles. If you think your pump bottles are going to cut it, they're probably not, because we leave these in the car go do our stuff, come back, and there is always cold water.
We just put a few ice cubes in the morning and fill it up, and they're cold all day. It is amazing. I wouldn't go without it.
They're also perfect for a bit of product placement. No, just kidding. But yeah, so things we've brought that we don't need. We know
Daniel.
that we pack too much crap.
No, actually need
We
it.
brought 2 kids that probably didn't need them. No, nah. Very good. So clothes.
Yeah, probably a lot
Not too
of
many clothes. Not heaps too many, but probably too many. We'll get rid of a few.
Anyone that's full-time on the road would know that you wear your clothes, you wash them, you put them back in your cupboard, so you're always getting the ones from the front. You're never turning them over.
You do wear your clothes dirty. You do not change them all the time because they're just don't have space, don't have washing. But yeah, so probably have too many clothes, which we'll probably maybe sort out later. And the only other thing we really brought, we brought maybe back a few too many knives and forks, which is nothing. We can get rid of them easy enough. We can donate them to Buddy Salvos if we want to.
But the toys for the kids.
Yeah, stuff for the kids.
We've got a hatch at the back that's under their bunks actually, that's got balls and cricket bats and bow and arrows.
All that sort of stuff.
Just stuff, yeah.
That we probably brought too much of that, so again we'll probably rectify that. And along with that, pool noodles. We thought we would need them for their snorkeling and stuff, but they're way better swimmers and snorkelers than we gave them credit for, and the pool noodles probably will not get used.
Yeah.
Little Miss over here might be the only one that will use a pool noodle when we're out snorkeling because she just feels more comfortable with them. But yeah, so we haven't done too bad with all that. But yeah, anyway, we have learnt we've got a bit too much stuff. And probably containers and crap like that that we don't use. We use like suction bag things from Harvey Norman, which most of the time, so anyway, we'll probably rectify all that at some point. Now, things we know about full-time travel. If you're like us, or things we found out for us for full-time travel is we need sun. We have set up to use, we've got a good system for battery and solar. We also like to use it. We use air fryers and induction cookers, and we had the air conditioner the other day, and
we have
toasters and kettles and coffee machines and hair dryers.
We've never run out.
No, we went for a bit over a week when we first started with no sun. We tried to drain it. We still only got down to about 25–30%. So more than happy with how it is, but we do need to follow
the sun. The other number one thing is water. Water,
and not salt water. We can find plenty of that, but fresh water, especially in Tassie, we've noticed that it's a bit harder to find than mainland. Not impossible, not that hard. Like we've got good water storage, so we managed to. It's not a problem for us, but it could be an issue. But yes,
you just got to be mindful. You're always thinking about solar and water and dump point for your toilet.
Yeah. Hot tip is carry a second canister. We haven't used ours yet, but there's been a couple of times when we were getting close to. But yeah, 100% we will use 2 at some point. Apparently, as everybody gets bigger, everything that comes out of them gets bigger, and our
Let's not talk about that.
And our cassettes fill up quicker. But anyway, yeah, so we know that we need to be aware of those 3 things.
We also know that travelling fast, as we were in the beginning, is expensive.
Damn expensive.
It is a lot more expensive, fuel-wise.
Yeah, mainly just fuel-wise. If you're free camping, it's alright. If you were travelling fast and caravan camping, with the differing prices in caravan parks, it could become astronomical.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're probably chewing about $20 or $30 an hour, I reckon, while we're driving.
Yeah.
So if we do that, do lots of Ks every day, that works out bloody expensive. We'll be home before next Christmas. So, yeah, so travelling, if you can, travel slow.
Yeah.
We know when we get over to the back of the mainland, we will slow right down because we won't have anywhere to be, we won't have a time frame.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we also know there are lots of people travelling Australia. So if you're worried about getting out there and not having your friends and whatnot with you, there are so many people to talk to.
You're not alone. And it's amazing, just the social aspect of everything.
Everyone's like-minded, everyone's there for the same reason. So
you're not alone, get out there and do it. Don't wait.
Yes, we also know that you have to be able to change daily,
Yeah.
hourly, minutely even. Like
Don't plan ahead.
things happen. You might have something set in and you will get to where you're going and it's just can't be done, or it's not what you thought it was.
Or you might like somewhere and want to stay longer.
Yeah, so be adaptive to change. That we don't travel with any sort of plan, so
even this morning we woke up and we didn't know we would be here today.
Yeah, so we got here and then we almost couldn't get here and we almost couldn't get in, so we're almost going to have to change in. But yeah, so be adaptive to change. And as Ailey said, don't plan too far ahead.
Yeah, we also know everyone needs their own space and everyone needs their own time.
Yes.
So living in a small little box,
we know that a caravan is a very confined space.
We need to give everyone their own space. We need to give everyone their own time to, like, you know, be emotional, be not emotional, calm down, you know, have their own time, and don't take things to heart. Like, we say things that we don't mean, and you just gotta let it go.
Especially with kids, because they're so emotional and don't understand their feelings. We need to be very mindful of them because we're essentially dragging them on this journey. So yeah, we just need to be mindful of those around you is what we know.
Yeah.
And
I guess
what comes with that is sometimes you just need your down days.
Yeah.
Like you need a day to not go explore, not climb a mountain, not walk to a waterfall, not do anything, just sit there.
Just have a day.
Let the kids, if you've got kids, let them just chill out, doing their thing.
Because doing stuff all day, every day is tiring.
And it's a lot.
It's a lot. So
sometimes you don't get home till late, you get up early and everyone just gets tired and cranky.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Have a down day.
Have down days. Don't plan, unless you are on a strict time limit and you have to. Otherwise, slow down. Sit at home, have coffee, read a book, drink beer.
However, even if you are on a time limit, I would still schedule a down day every now and then.
Yeah.
Because, like, you just need to have a break.
We do it. We do it. We plan days where we'll catch up on YouTube stuff, let the kids just have a day without having to do anything.
Yeah. And I guess the last thing for me, or for us, is that
we know it will take you a while to settle into full-time travel or any sort of travel. Going from a home to a box on wheels into that confined space does take a while.
But we have found now that 100 days on the road, as I said, the kids and us, we're starting to call the caravan home.
Yes,
it's our safe place, it's home, you know, and it's starting to reflect in our communication. And
so if you are starting out now, we know it will get better, so hang in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, and we know if you're thinking of doing it, we know you should.
Yes.
But anyway, so that's our first, we know with TTTM, our quick 100-day on the road breakdown.
Yeah.
Like
100 days.
Yeah. Like we said
Amazing.
before, we want to turn this into a little community type thing. So if you've got any comments, questions, have any tips for us, drop them in the comments below.
Tell us what you know as well, and we'll share it with everybody.
Righto, so we're going to leave that one here. We're going to go and enjoy this,
and we'll see you next time.
We're out of here. See you guys.